What's happening, Black Healing Matters family? This is Danielle here, the Black Healing Matters podcast, where we offer you ideas to hopefully move you one step closer to your healing. Happy hump day to you. Hopefully you made it through the Wednesday, or you're making it through Wednesday, and having a good one. And today, of course, on the Black Healing Matters podcast is Welcome Wellness Wednesday, where we take a moment to welcome in more wellness into our moments, into our living experience. And so today, I'd like to give you some information that I came across that I found particularly startling, if you will. And it was something that I was really surprised about, because I had never, ever heard of this disease before. Yet, it disproportionately affects Black people. Several times higher is the mortality rate due to this disease for Black people in America than it is for Caucasians. What disease is this? You're like, okay, tell me more. Well, if you read the title of this episode, you know I'm talking about sarcoidosis. Now, if you're like me and you never ever heard of sarcoidosis before, well, hopefully today's episode will bring you out of the dark and into the light about a very serious illness that affects far too many Black people, particularly Black women. According to the research that I've done, African American women have a much higher risk, of contracting this illness than white women, and even higher also than Black men. So they're considered the most at-risk group for sarcoidosis. So enough about the gruesome stuff. What actually are the key facts of sarcoidosis? Well, sarcoidosis causes your immune system to overreact, which can cause health issues. People with sarcoidosis have clusters of inflamed tissue called granulomas, granulomas, granulomas in different parts of their bodies. Sarcoidosis often improves without treatment, and sarcoidosis, again, occurs more often in African Americans than in Caucasians. And African Americans can experience more severe symptoms. And as I mentioned before, the mortality rate for sarcoidosis in African Americans it's something like, I read somewhere, like 16 times higher. 16 times higher than the mortality rate of Caucasians for sarcoidosis. Now, what is sarcoidosis? Really quickly. Well, no one actually knows what sarcoidosis is. Isn't that strange? It is associated with increased immune system activity. This causes clusters of immune cells called granulomas to infiltrate your organs and lymph nodes. Sarcoidosis most commonly affects your lungs, but it can affect any organ in your body. People over the age of 20 and women are more likely to develop sarcoidosis. Many patients never have symptoms, and the disease is diagnosed only because a chest X-ray is done for another reason. In most of these cases, the disease improves by itself. However, your overactive immune system may lead to problems with different organs of the body and lead to cough, shortness of breath, night sweats, joint pain, and fatigue. Up to 30% of patients with sarcoidosis have symptoms improve without treatment. So, how does sarcoidosis actually affect our bodies? If you have sarcoidosis, the increased inflammation in your body can cause flu-like symptoms such as night sweats, joint pain, and fatigue. This inflammation can lead to scar tissue in your lungs, while also making them function more poorly. Many people with sarcoidosis also have skin and eye damage in addition to lung disease. Occasionally, those with sarcoidosis develop granulomas and inflammation in their hearts, which can trigger abnormal heart rhythms and even heart failure. Okay. And the last question I'll answer here and read is, how serious is sarcoidosis? Although sarcoidosis can affect anyone, African Americans have a higher incidence of sarcoidosis than do Caucasian Americans. Many people diagnosed with sarcoidosis never have symptoms, but it can cause shortness of breath and loss of lung function, and sometimes permanent damage to your lungs. In very few cases, sarcoidosis can be life-threatening if it causes heart or severe lung disease. If your symptoms last longer than 2 years despite treatment, your disease is considered chronic, and the symptoms may worsen your quality of life. A few people with severe heart or lung disease require a heart or lung transplant. You may also have, sarcoidosis flare-ups even after your disease has been inactive. Okay? And so this episode today is, I'm not trying to give you the, A to Z about sarcoidosis. Honestly, I've done quite a lot of research. I mean, when I say research, I'm reading like medical publishing, medical journal papers on this. And it's fascinating because this is something I've never heard of before. And so, Black Healing Matters family, I would love to hear from you. First off, have you ever heard of sarcoidosis before? Are you in any way familiar with this? If you have any experience with it, you know anybody who has had it, please do call in and share their experience. Because this is, obviously it's something that is, as I've stated many times here, is really affecting our community more seriously than others. So it's something that we really should be aware of. And I guess, because it doesn't affect the general society at large so greatly, that may be why we don't hear so much about it, So it's up to us to really educate ourselves and each other about keeping ourselves healthy. And again, inviting wellness into our experience. Okay. All right. Again, I would love to hear from you on this topic. If you have any experience or know anything about this, would like to chime in or add something to this conversation, please do send me a call in here on Anchor, or again, go over to the Facebook page, Black Healing Matters, of course, YouTube page, SoundCloud, or again, good old fashioned email, blackhealingmatters@gmail.com. Black Healing Matters family, if you are interested in this topic, please do go to the show notes and click the link, and you'll be able to access this article, which I found on lung.org. Okay, lung.org, lung.org. So I would say that it is a credible source. And on that note, Black Healing Matters family, I love you. Stay blessed, stay well, and as always, Black Healing Matters.
podcast you just heard was recorded with Anchor. If you want to make your own, download the Android or iOS app completely free from anchor.fm/podcast. That's anchor.fm/podcast.